Hello everybody, the Great Dino Ranger here again, back with another review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Jurassic World Dominion Dr. Ian Malcolm and Velociraptor pack. This is a set that I picked up from Target, and this is a really nice set. And before we get on to the review, I just want to point out, yes, this set is already out of the box. I already recorded a intro video that was like an introduction to the figure and the pack, and I go over the packaging and whatnot, but I accidentally deleted that off my phone, so I don't have that in this video. So this whole pack is already out of the box anyway. So yeah, just wanted to get that out of the way. But now back to the review. This is a really nice set here. I've always wanted an old Dr. Ian Malcolm ever since I saw the trailer from the movie come out, or at least Jurassic World Dominion, and now Mattel has finally given us an older version of Dr. Ian Malcolm. This set was originally supposed to come with a baby or juvenile Baryonyx, the one with the prosthetic arm that we saw in the Malta sequence. It's a little unfortunate that Mattel didn't stick with that idea. Instead, they gave us another repaint of a Velociraptor, which is fine. At least the Velociraptor has a really nice paint job, so I guess that kind of makes up for it. But hopefully someday Mattel will give us a proper juvenile Baryonyx, as I really enjoyed its scene in the movie. So yeah, this set, other than the human and the raptor, also comes with a little accessory and 3 locusts, which are pretty cool. I enjoyed the locusts in the film, so it's really cool to see Mattel give us an actual locust toy. So yeah, that's basically the main gist of this entire set here. I am looking forward to taking a closer look at it, as I think it's a really nice one. So first off, we're going to start off with Dr. Ian Malcolm here. He looks pretty cool. He looks just like Ian Malcolm. There were 3 packs of these at my Target, and I had to choose the best one, and this had the better looking Ian, at least in terms of the face. It might not look like Ian Malcolm in some angles, but it does if you kind of look at it long enough. So here, looking at his clothes, they're like the famous clothes that Ian Malcolm wears, the like all black. His jacket here is very soft. It's like a softer material. You can see his shirt on the inside, his belt, and his pants, all nicely sculpted. His shoes, really nothing too special. I mean, this is like the classic outfit that Ian Malcolm wears all the time. But I think it looks really cool on this one. His glasses look nice. They're very like tight on there, which is good. So that means they won't, you won't lose them. His face looks pretty good, and his hair is nicely sculpted. So it looks just like Ian Malcolm from Dominion for the most part. But I like it. I like the way it is. Articulation-wise, it's just like your standard Mattel figure. The head can move. However, mine is very stiff. So it can move left and right, and it can go up and down just a little bit. It won't move too much. Mine is stiff. The arms, standard articulation. They can go up and down, rotate all the way around, and here at the elbows, they can bend, and then they can also swivel. And same goes to the other side. So your standard articulation here. There is a swivel joint at the waist, and then the legs can pivot in and out as well as forward and backward. And then there is a joint at the knee there, which that shin part can also rotate. So yeah, nice articulation on these human figures overall. I don't even own a Hammond collection one yet, so I'd like to see how those articulation joints differ from these ones. So yeah, that was the Ian Malcolm, and now we're going to move on to the Velociraptor that it comes with. And this is a very nice colored raptor. I really like this color or this green design patterning it has on the back. Very jungle-like. Kind of reminds me of what you would see like on leopards. They have like that certain patterning that almost kind of blends it into the environment. Almost reminds me of the green raptor toys that they released for the Camp Cretaceous toy line. Also, this raptor is basically the same sculpt as the Extreme Damage raptor and blue. So it's basically the same exact articulation, sculpt, and detail. You can see at the face here, there are a lot of those little scale details on the face there. They pop out really well against the sun. And the teeth are sculpted very nicely. The little bumps on the back of the neck are sculpted nicely. The scales on the hands and feet are all scaled perfectly. And then the tail has some nice texture on it as well. Kind of reminds me of a classic Jurassic Park Velociraptor. But yeah, the main sculpt and design of this raptor is pretty much the same as your other standard Mattel Velociraptor. Articulation-wise, the jaw can open and close. And I also noticed they didn't paint anything on the top of the mouth, but that's fine. It's not like you can really notice it. So yeah, the jaws can move, the head can go up and down, and it can also swivel all the way around, 360. So you got that nice neck articulation that I love. Get some nice poses for pictures, which are always a plus. The arms here can rotate all the way around 360. However, they cannot pivot in and out like some of the Extreme Damage figures. And the legs can also rotate all the way around, though mine are a little stiff on this figure, which is fine. I don't need it to go all the way upside down or anything. And then the tail, although stiff, can also rotate, but you know that joint is kind of useless. So yeah, standard basic dinosaur or smaller species articulation for the most part, and it works really well. And for the scan code here, here's the scan code for anyone who wants it. There we go. And yeah, that's basically it for the Velociraptor in this set. A very nice painted Velociraptor, I would say. Alright, and then here is the accessory that this set comes with. It's a taser stick, or I guess, what do you call it? Like a cattle prod, I guess. This is the same exact sculpt work as that was released back in 2018. That came with the mercenary, or one of the mercenaries, except the main handle part was all gray instead of black. But it's a nice little accessory. It's a classic Jurassic Park accessory, in my opinion, because you gotta tase your dinosaurs to defend yourself. And they can easily fit inside any human action figure's hands. Though it always looks kind of a little too big, but for the most part, you know, it looks really good for display purposes. So you can use it to tase any dinosaur, like that Velociraptor. So yes, a very nice little accessory. So now we get to the other part of this set that I was really excited for, and that is the Locusts. I really loved the Locusts in the movie. I thought it was a great plot idea, and it's something different from the Jurassic franchise. So looking at this little Locust here, it's casted in one solid plastic. Well, not really solid. It is very bendy, very soft, so you can move it all the way around. It's kind of like what Mattel's done with the Compies. They're like a solid color, and they're very bendy. And the sculpt work on this Locust, although very tiny, is very good. You can see the face, you can see the little bumps and textured stuff on the legs, and the lines on the back part of the insect, even some sculpt work on the wings. So yeah, this Locust is decked out in some nice detail. And here you can see, for size reference here, that is a very big Locust, as they were in the movie. I'd be pretty freaked out to see a giant flying insect of that size. So yeah, these little Locusts are really cool. They're almost going to be like the new compies. Yeah, and it's cool that Mattel gave us 3 of them. I mean, they're tiny, so obviously you'd probably get multiples, not just one. It'd be cool to see another pack released in the future that comes with more locusts. I'd love to build my huge swarm. Now on to comparisons. We're going to compare the old Ian Malcolm with this young Ian Malcolm from the first Jurassic Park, or in this case, the Jurassic World Legacy Collection line from Mattel. And as you may have noticed, he is missing his glasses. I've lost those glasses. They've fallen off at some point, and I don't know where they went. I mean, besides, he kind of went without glasses throughout the first movie anyway, as well as the second one, so it's fine. But yeah, it's really cool to see both of these Ian Malcolms together. You got one from 1993, then you got the other one from 2020. The years have passed, and Ian Malcolm has probably changed in looks, but his color choice has not changed, and that's a unique thing for Ian Malcolm. So yeah, I think they look really cool together. It kind of shows you the change between the character within the movies. And next up, we're going to compare this raptor from the pack with the extreme damage raptor, or as I call it, the Arctic raptor, because of the colors. They're very similar in terms of pose and sculpt, but I've actually noticed a few differences here and there. Now you can see here as I'm comparing them, they're basically the same pose in the in terms of the arrangement of the hands and the legs and the tail. Obviously, some of the differences are the extreme damage raptor has a hinge on its arm that makes it pivot in and out, whereas the Ian Malcolm one does not. And then obviously the extreme damage one has claw marks for the battle damage action feature, and the other one does not. Another difference is the leg, or at least this leg right here, and the feet. The one on the extreme damage figure are a little bit more proportioned and smaller, whereas the green one has oversized feet. So it's kind of cool to see all these differences in these figures, as you can see as I'm comparing them. And you can see here the extreme damage one has smaller feet, or at least on this side, and the green one has larger one. So it's very interesting. And also, the green Velociraptor has a little bit more of a webbing on its toes, and the extreme damage one does not. So that could be for balancing purposes. But I don't know. It's pretty interesting to see all these different changes, and then everything else seems to be the same for the most part. So yeah, that's basically it for this cool little set here. My overall thoughts is that I really love this set. It's awesome to have an old Ian Malcolm. It's cool to have a nicely painted Velociraptor, though I do wish Mattel stuck with the juvenile Baryonyx. I love the Locusts that were included in this set. I hope they are included in more sets in the future. But yeah, this set was really awesome. Recommend it for anyone who is collecting. So I'll see you guys again for the next review.